Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where three mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now here are your hosts, Darth Jader, Jason Mitchell, and Adam B.
Good evening, Hindsighters, and welcome back to a very special episode of Hindsight is Horrifying.
Well, not welcome back to the episode. It's the beginning of the episode.
So good to be back.
Just welcome back in general.
She's talking about me. I've been away for a while. Doing familial things.
Angel Bienvenido. Ew. Yeah, sorry, Angel. Oh, you got one right out of the starting gate.
Yes, of course.
Ew. Aw. But anyway, I don't know what the hell I was talking about now. Go ahead, Jason.
Nipples.
Yes.
A lot of nipples.
Oiled up Joe Lara.
Yeah.
Lara?
Joe Lara.
Yes.
There's no you, so sorry, Hindsighters. Yeah. But we're doing a very special episode, Tarzan in Manhattan.
Yes.
And we're going to go ahead and let Mr. Brown ring us in because this was his pick and he has a special reason why. So
I'm very excited about this for a couple reasons. Well, first of all, Joe Lara is the star of this, and I had the pleasure of working with...
You just said Lara. Is it Lara or Laura?
Joe Lara.
Okay.
Joe Lara.
Okay.
Like Laura, as in a woman's name, except it's his last name. Lara, Joe Lara.
Okay.
He is a hunk of burning love in this. When I worked with him, he was in his mid-30s, a little more rugged. Here he's nubile and... hot.
What year was Strike? Because that was you're obviously referring to Strike Zone.
Yes, Strike Zone. I'm sure all of you listeners remember the Strike Zone episode.
Yes.
And what is it that you said during Strike Zone? What was your most famous line during that?
Tap dancing elephants. In fact, I delivered that line to Joe Lara. We worked together that one day, so I consider him a best friend. One day 20 years ago. But nevertheless, he was one of the coolest, sweetest people
Cats
I met.
in the cave. Yeah.
And sadly, a few weeks ago, he died in a plane crash with his wife and a group of other people. And so I wanted to, this was one of his biggest films that he'd ever done. It was made for television, and it was done in 1989. So I thought, let's bring this one to the podcast. We'll have plenty to talk about, and at the same time, as a remembrance for a wonderful human being who is now departed the earth.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that we picked this movie because this is the movie that was in all of the news stories about his death.
Well, because this was his biggest role, I would say. And how old was he when he passed? Do we know?
He was 58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's the first time it's ever been publicly revealed. Oh my God.
Cut that out.
Note that Darth Jader.
I'll bleep it.
Darth Jader never released that information.
I'm gonna bleep it and blur your mouth and really piss off the audience.
Do it. It's our running secret.
Yes.
Because seriously, Darth Jader never revealed that information.
She didn't.
I like that he has a Jamaican friend who's living in Africa.
Yeah, that's like you do.
Hey man, welcome to Africa.
Not as a
but I
loincloth.
recognize that guy from other films that I've seen in the past.
Yeah, and I wonder what part of South Florida this is.
Wherever Stanley retired to after The Office was over.
Real quick, the only thing I'll say about the plane crash incident that surprised the hell out of me, because you hear stories every once in a while about a private plane went down, and it's usually a one-engine plane. This was a multi-engine. It was a Citation. It was a jet, two-engine jet.
What is a Citation? Because I don't know.
It's a business jet.
Oh, okay.
Business jet.
I don't know a lot about planes.
And he was flying it.
Okay.
Which impressed the hell out of me. Joe Lara was flying it. He
never had a lesson.
Yeah.
Never had a lesson.
That explains a lot.
There is...
The takeoff was great. It was the landing that was a real problem.
Well, that's what always gets you. You know, it's not the fall; it's the sudden stop.
Y'all are the worst.
But let's.
Anyway,
I'm glad we ripped the Band-Aid off and we can make jokes about it now because.
So finish your story.
Because how did I describe this to you in a text earlier today?
Oh God.
The most inappropriate text I ever sent.
Was it our ongoing group text or something else?
Because we just happened to be sort of watching this.
Do you remember a time when Michael-Vincent had all his legs?
Oh yes.
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Do you remember a time when Michael-Vincent had all his legs? Pepperidge Farm.
Calling all Michael-Vincent.
By the way, the gorilla. I'm convinced that's the same costume that appeared in several episodes of Tales of the Gold Monkey.
I'm pretty sure it's
surprised.
also the same gorilla that showed up in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Probably.
The one that rapes the guy.
Well,
He's a very. This guy who plays the gorilla. It plays gorillas in many movies. Apparently, that's
What a
his
career.
thing. Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I'm the gorilla.
Yeah.
I can walk the
Joe.
streets without people wanting my autograph.
I like that we have subtitles on, but they're really not doing a lot.
they're blank.
It's just a little blank box popping up. Well,
So-
why don't you tell us what this film is about?
I refused to read it to them before we got on camera, Hindsighters, because the synopses to different movies are, they range. This one is surprisingly short. So this particular synopsis, the ape man, Joe Lara, flies to New York where cabbie Jane, Kim Crosby, and her father, Tony Curtis, help him rescue Cheetah. Not a cheetah. Help him rescue Cheetah,
Yeah, Cheetah.
from a madman.
Yeah. Played by.
Oh, it doesn't go on.
Oh, you should.
That's the synopsis.
But you know who the
Who's the
madman
bad
was
guy?
played by.
Who is the bad guy?
And Michael-Vincent.
Michael-Vincent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He could dance.
Yeah.
Very well.
What year was this again?
1989.
89. I was
So
a
this
year
is
old.
post Airwolf.
Post Airwolf.
But pre that movie with Shannon Tweed where she does the lesbian scene and he's like really scuzzy. So that's like
Wait, what are we talking about?
the bookmarks of the Jan Michael Vincent career. Which actually no, that's not true because
Go on.
he was in The Dirty Dozen.
Go on.
Right.
Yeah, he was in he was one of the ones.
He was in The World's Greatest Athlete, if you remember that. Nanu, he played.
who was basically
Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan. But then obviously best known for Airwolf.
Oh, Airwolf. I love Airwolf.
Oh, everybody, come on.
Do you even know what I'm doing with the,
What?
the helicopter?
Oh, do you
Like
know
in
what
Lethal
do you know what a
Weapon.
helicopter sounds like?
No, they're so quiet. That's the problem with Airwolf and Lethal Weapon. Is the
And conspiracy theory.
Yes. they
Silent
Those
helicopters.
make
against-
no noise
Yeah, they make
whatsoever.
no noise. They're
30 feet up in the
They're
air,
big
man.
as hell, blowing everyone down. But you
I don't
can't
care.
hear it. You can just hear the screams of the women and
just.
children.
Speaking of Mel, I did notice that Tarzan killed some people with his thighs in this movie.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of that.
Hey
And
Mel,
he's riding an elephant right now, listeners, the same way he rides
Yeah.
a bus later in the film.
And he does. I can't believe. Okay, let's get the good things out of the way first.
Okay.
sure.
Okay. He does a competent job with the material he's given.
Joe does.
I think he does. yeah.
No, he does. I think given what he had to work with,
Given that it's the 80s and
Yeah.
it's so bad.
do a lot of coke and vote for Ronald Reagan.
Nancy is very much in play.
He does a good job. He actually kind of has a sort of Johnny Weissmuller
Those abs. What?
like.
He is very well. He works out a lot.
He's so ripped.
Like
My God.
a lot.
There is no way that a dude living in the bush would ever look like that.
No.
No way.
He clearly eats
And
good
he's-
steak and works out and maybe juices.
Well,
Just
and
a
that's the
little
thing
bit.
about Tarzan too is that
A condom?
he's always clean shaven.
That's what I thought it was when he picked it up in the beginning.
Bête
When he
noire.
picks the matchbook up, it looked because I watched the episode last night of Seinfeld where George's parents found the condom wrapper in their bed, and so when I saw,
God.
I was like,
Yeah, no, it's a
that-
pack of matches.
What
Back
did he
when-
do with
when
that
people
monkey?
Use those.
My God.
just like condoms.
Well, I don't know about the goat. There was a goat just sort of hanging out there a minute ago.
Plotting.
He's looking from side to side. God, Joe, forget his body. Look at his hair. He has
beautiful.
the most luscious hair.
He
I've ever
does.
seen.
Yeah.
I could die in that hair.
I love
really could.
this line here where he
His Jamaican friend.
He goes to the Jamaican dive shop.
Like he did.
Which is located somewhere in South Africa,
In the
Florida.
swamp.
South Africa,
Swamp
Florida.
diving.
Burt Reynolds is there somewhere with an airboat.
Yeah. That's what he needed.
Gator!
That's what he needed. But then he just says, I must go to New York. Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Why? Because the synopsis
You
was
cannot bring your pecs on the plane.
those have to be checked, sir. But no, seriously, he is going to save Cheetah, who is
His
chimp.
His little chimpanzee friend.
A very, 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 very young chimp.
Oh, yes.
Which
Who
is why
takes
he's
books
so
back to
sweet.
his-
He's
yeah.
a doll.
Yeah, he hasn't
won't
gotten
rip your face
Yeah,
off
he hasn't gotten to the face
won't
ripping phase
destroy
yet.
your genitals or
Yes,
anything that
yeah.
chimps do.
Yeah.
That's why I really wonder how Michael Jackson molested all those children when he had
He
a pet
didn't.
chimp.
He did not ever
Because
do
wouldn't
that.
the chimp have removed his genitals by then? Like,
I'm not going to touch this one.
Not like he did.
unlike Michael, yes, God, you beat me to it.
I've been drinking coffee. I'm fast now.
That's
on
good.
The draw.
That's good.
Girls
That's
don't
good.
like them fast, Mr.
But
Brown.
you'll notice. I know. Well, if they're bored, yes.
Why can't
Let's give
all
us a
women
It
little-
depends on if they're
that.
not in the mood.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll notice when he takes his flight, he actually
looks better in
has a
those jeans
layover in
than I would.
Atlanta.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. it
Yeah,
says-
no, they announced it on the plane.
Of course he
they
flew
do
to
say
Atlanta.
It's the hub of the world.
Yes,
But he flew
in
Eastern instead of
1989.
Delta.
Yeah.
Even before the
This was
96
back when
Olympics.
Eastern Airlines was in every movie.
Oh yeah.
It was either Eastern or Pan Am.
Before Dell's
neither of which
Airlines
exist
and life
anymore,
is a
so,
fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a wife beater and some badass 80s jeans. Joe Lara does.
These don't last long. He's got to get those off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What's hilarious to me is that he wears the loincloth like underwear. Because
I know.
he strips out of his clothes when he's with Jane.
Yeah,
And
that
he
made
just
no
tears his
sense to me.
He tears his clothes off, and he's scared because her dad shows up, and he doesn't understand the dad, knocking and thumping on the door. He rips his clothes off. The loincloth is there, and he's hanging up like from the ceiling rafters.
But he almost, we'll get to that scene, but it's almost like he forgets that he's Tarzan. It's like, oh shit, I've got to be hanging from rafters. Oh crap,
Right.
where's the rafter? Where's the rafter?
And the dad's even like, "What the hell are you doing? Like,
Well,
what is this?"
Let's continue talking about what's good about the movie.
The music, Leave My Monkey Alone,
Which-
by Warren Zevon.
Shocked the hell out of
Shock the Monkey.
Yeah. Werewolves of London.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
I think by this point his career was kind of
Here,
fading.
let's see if they see the announcement that it came through to it from
He's
Atlanta.
like prettier than any woman I've ever seen.
He looks like the guy
See,
who
non-stop
plays.
service from Atlanta.
Yeah, there
from
you go.
Africa. Yes.
He looks like the guy who plays Bobby Briggs on Twin Peaks.
from wherever in Africa. Where did he start off?
Africa.
No, but
Is there
what
any
country in
other
Africa?
country?
Just Africa.
Just Africa.
Darkest Africa, I think.
And he shows his passport. We've got a problem. They put him in
He has
prison.
a
Throw him in
passport.
jail.
He grew up in the jungle and he has a freaking passport. This,
Hey, he's with it, man. He's with it.
I'm
Is there
with
a problem?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
hip.
we have a problem.
Ducka, 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 ducka.
So the actor Tony Curtis,
Yes.
love
is in
Tony
this.
Curtis in everything, and
who
he's
doesn't
enjoyable in this. He's enjoying.
He's pushing it a little
Yeah, he is. I feel like Tony Curtis. I think Darth, you said it before. Was like Jungle A-Team, especially when Tony
While everyone
Curtis was.
playing guns
Yeah, when
together.
Tony Curtis was in the old man disguise and he looked like Hannibal.
Well, that's what. No, I
Yeah.
said that.
Oh, you
Meanwhile-
said
It's like
that. You
Jungle
yeah,
But
yeah.
meanwhile, Joe Lara looks like he's in a Whitesnake video the entire movie.
Did you see the puff of smoke?
Yeah.
With his jeans
Loincloth.
off there.
Well, you didn't want to chafe.
No, but
You didn't wanna
like
chafe.
whenever he's like man of actioning it, he takes his clothes off and gets down to the loincloth. He like strips everything and he's like, all right, I'm trying to break out of these jail bars. Like, "Ugh, I'm gonna get down to my loincloth.
Well, that's what most men really do. Society
is
is
his
just
version of Superman, like ripping the shirt off?
mechanics. A mechanic, like if it's I gotta take all your clothes off, then work on it. A brain surgeon, if the tumor's really in there,
Superman.
rip all the clothes
Rip
off
off
and
my
then get in
pants.
there.
Got the tool belt.
Yeah. Joe Lara as a surgeon. Ugh.
I'm gonna
And of course, they opened fire on him.
They just start shooting.
like you
I
did.
think I got him. Yeah, so listeners,
He's a
yeah,
good swimmer.
Joe Lara pulls the bars off of the jail cell, which oddly where they imprison you if you have a problem with your
Pull the
passport.
jail
They
bars
don't
off.
say anything to you.
And he jumps off
on.
into the East River, I guess, and then they open
I'm sorry,
fire on
aren't you
him.
from New York City?
I am, so-
Shouldn't you know?
Okay, now let's talk about what's bad because you just speaking of accents, let's talk about Jane
Porter.
Jane
Oh my
Porter,
God.
Taxi
played
driver.
by a person.
A woman who's been in 3 movies.
I looked her up. I think she has a theater.
Sadly, more
She has a
movies
theater
than Joe
career.
Lara?
I think she was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. She has the worst New York accent I've ever heard in 42 years of watching films.
They give credits to a dialogue coach. I don't know why.
Are you kidding?
Yes, it says dialogue coach gives them. I'm surprised they were not embarrassed.
God, it wasn't Alan Smithy.
It was John Doe.
Yeah, dialogue coach, the demo setting on a Casio keyboard.
I'm amazed that dialogue coaches were even a thing in the 80s because, and I've brought this up before, I know neither of you are invested in this show, a show called True Blood, but nobody sounds like they're from Louisiana
that
in that
process
show.
shot.
And nobody sounds like they're from New York in this movie. Like
I can't.
how dialogue coaches got away with it, it had to have been a scam for years.
Well, what's weird is that I mean,
Oh, Mickey D's.
people from New York,
Times Square.
On TV shows in the 80s and in movies, they kind of just sounded mostly normal. I don't understand the decision to give her that accent.
I don't
Because she
either.
talks like she's from freaking New York, you know?
And her dad
I'm
talks
walking
nothing.
here.
We're
Yeah.
walking here. Her dad talks nothing
my
like
God.
her. They
Oh my
don't have
God.
similar accents,
No,
so you have to credit it to her mom, whom you
Yes.
never see. It's basically a
Yes.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
One parent,
Yeah,
one parent only.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Joe Lara, who was raised by
Gorillas.
chimps.
He's one of the great.
Well, gorillas or chimps?
No,
He was
gorillas.
raised by the gorillas.
Okay.
Chimps are his friends.
Yeah.
They're his playmates.
He went to school with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, jeez. But
His stuntman looks amazingly like him.
yeah.
He's not as cut as Joe. He's a little
Yeah.
softer and more supple.
Tarzan
looks
and
like
the
a
World
lot
Trade
like
Center.
did I just hear the word supple? That was okay.
I know. I tell you,
So
I like
what is
Joe.
he doing right now, gentlemen? What is Tarzan doing? He's just
Bumbling around New York.
yeah.
He's looking for what is it? Restaurant
noir.
noir. Bête noir.
Cheetah.
Bête noir, which means,
Wait, what?
what does bête noir mean?
I don't know.
Something black.
I know.
Child?
Yeah, I know what noir is.
Child?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a bad kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
If something is the thing that's constantly irritating you in your life, it's your bête noir.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Good to know. See, I'm disappointed that Mel Gibson's not driving this cab. There's, the woman. There's Jane. We have to have
They
our
have a whole
Jane.
different flair
Yeah.
to it. It would be good for Pride Month
Yeah, that would.
because
Yeah,
they would
that's true.
both hook up.
If
right?
it was Jane from Firefly,
Oh dear God! I'm just gonna get lost down that rabbit hole.
that would have
fantasy.
been better. I would actually be okay with that because her accent is that horrible.
Wait, what are you trying to say about Jane from Firefly?
No, replace Jane in this movie with Jane from Firefly.
Oh, because her.
Just because Jane
she
in
has
this
a bad
movie,
accent.
her accent is so
No,
bad.
actually, I see his breath here. It
Okay.
is- I think it's actually cold.
I think his nipples are erect.
Oh, they definitely
They,
are.
yeah,
Okay.
they appear to be.
I have a question, gentlemen. So he does his Tarzan call to get a cab, but he tries to. How does
Literally the Weissmuller call.
It is the one.
That's
Yeah.
he
straight
he
up.
tries to do the ballpark whistle. Can either of you do that with your?
Ready?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, but you're doing it with one hand.
The only way I know how to do it is like this, and I usually spit for about 5 minutes, and then I can make it work.
See, I can't do that. My dad can. He can do the ballpark whistle, but yeah.
Yeah, I can do it, but not very well.
See, I can whistle. I can whistle songs and tunes, and a friend of mine.
Okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
We've gone.
No, but I was asking because he tries the ballpark whistle to get a cab, and then he does his Tarzan call, and there's no real story behind it. So in the
Nope.
Disney Tarzan, for instance, the reason why Tarzan develops his is because he imitates all the animals. Sure.
Sorry.
Anyway, the reason why Tarzan develops his own call is because his mother is like, can't you imitate more quiet animals or come up with your own sound, Tarzan? And so he comes up with his own call, like beating his chest and doing his Tarzan call. But you it's just given in this movie.
Well,
that he does the
It's pretty
Tarzan.
well established.
yeah, that
Ron
it's-
Ely, Johnny Weissmuller.
Yeah.
They
No,
all
I
did
know
it.
Yeah,
that,
it's pretty
but, like-
much it's there because the audience
So
of
you're-
elderly people and children will know what it is.
It's made for TV. And what you're saying is there's some gaps in the storyline?
What?
Oh,
What?
unbelievable.
This.
He pulls out a costume ring worth
Yeah,
35 cents and
Yeah.
she loves it.
And the thing is, if you give, I defy you to go to New York and try to pay for a ride in a cab with a real ring.
I think
they're
you
going to
did
tell
in
you
New
no.
York City.
Yeah.
This really feels like it was trying to be a pilot.
Oh, it was.
It was trying to be
hoping
okay.
that
Okay,
it would be
because
a
at the end of the
TV series.
movie, it's like, Tony Curtis is like, you can stay here and you can.
No, this was
There
a
goes Emilio
movie.
Estevez.
This was a movie in hopes of a long run.
He has wheels on his feet.
Yes.
No, like the cabs are just. I half expect Tony Danza to step out of one of these
But that
cabs.
was that model. That model was just
I know,
starting
it's
to
from
be phased
Taxi.
out. Yep.
And this is so sweet. So Tarzan can tame any animal. Any animal. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, hindsighters. For instance, he's never seen a horse that we're aware of, but he can instantly tame one.
Yeah, and I don't think that too many of the handsome cab horses are
She's
that
kebab.
skittish.
No. No, they
and
are
also
So the skateboarder, who's like Marty McFly,
Yeah.
brushes by a cabbie horse, and Tarzan has to go out of his way to tame the horse and
Yeah.
calm it down.
yeah, and
When-
it just gets
once
her
again-
all wet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, she's just looking at. Oh my! Look at her face. She is just.
she is waiting. To
She
have a
is,
baby
None,
with
yeah,
Tarzan.
yeah.
He's wearing
She wants-
Renaissance fair boots with his loincloth.
Yeah.
My God.
He bought those from the Ator, Son of the Eagle collection.
Never having seen a horse in his God-given life, he gets animals.
Yeah, and also, who is the schmuck who's got to get dumped now because he didn't just reach up and grab the reins of the horse?
No, yeah.
He's not getting any.
There was no driver. There was no cabbie for the horse, and then
Well, the
suddenly
cabbie
there
was
is-
standing by it.
Oh, so
when-
he got
when it ran
off.
away,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He just ran up after
Yeah.
and said, "Thanks, Mac," and then he said,
Yeah.
"You're welcome."
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thanks,
dude.
Tarzan.
Thanks, dude.
And I can't, every time he introduces himself as Tarzan, I keep expecting them to go, "You're not Tarzan."
Oh yeah, because what's her face? Jane. Her dad is like, "Who are you again?" And he's like, "Tarzan."
Of the apes.
It should stick out, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like-
Now look, see the
Oh
little-
yeah,
the
treasure
bacon strip?
trail.
my mother's name was Alice.
He's got a bacon strip right there, just
Oh,
above
bacon
the
strip.
loincloth.
I've never
You
heard
see?
it called a bacon strip.
What
does it
on
look
earth
like?
is a bacon strip?
It's a treasure trail.
I'll tell you later.
No, I know what a treasure
It's
trail
like
That's a
a
treasure
landing
trail.
strip, except it's
Yeah,
tastier.
yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.
You mean it's more tasteful?
Yes. Maybe.
If you're
I know what I mean.
Is anything that we do tasteful on the show?
If you're lucky, ladies.
Negative.
So Tarzan goes to a men's store, and
He's got to get dressed.
You know what? The guy who was about to dress him, I sensed a little tension, sexual tension.
oh
with
yeah,
the dresser.
yeah. What did she say to him? And he was like, "Excuse me."
I know, it's really weird.
God, he's got, and I can't
I am
focus on
Tarzan of
anything
the
but his
Apes.
hair.
It is beautiful.
He's got beautiful hair.
He's got gorgeous
God.
hair.
And-
This fella right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Where did our
Who
stuff-
I
oh, there it is.
swear is
We accept
Even
all
the
major
more
credit cards.
obscure one.
show him the family jewels.
If your credit card is major,
That's
I've
when they
got
still had
plastic.
Master Charge.
Yeah.
Remember Master Charge and Bank AmeriCard?
Oh God.
Was that before your time?
No, I remember
Yeah.
my dad using it.
And a Diners Club.
Yeah.
When you had a Diners Club, you were somebody.
Does Diners Club still exist, doesn't it?
I think it does, but
it's not-
more of a
it's not-
niche.
Only certain cards were
everyone's
accepted
got
in the
credit cards
90s.
now.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Moccasins. So he went and he did buy moccasins. He stayed true.
Are you sure that's not just his boots? The bottom part of his boots?
Maybe it's just his boots.
Yeah, that's
Might
what
be.
I'm thinking.
like I said,
He's got a
those
nice
Ren Fair boots.
double-breasted plaid suit.
It's looking
Two
good.
buttons is a little 90s, Mr. Wayne. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking
And
about.
this is back when
course.
when restaurants just
Allowed.
were, they weren't
allowed to smoke
Yeah, you
cigars.
could smoke. You could.
It's before Giuliani took over New York City.
No, I think Dinkins got rid of the smoking in the.
Did he?
Yeah, that was pre
I
Giuliani.
thought-
Yeah, getting rid of smoking in restaurants.
I thought Giuliani had all the smokers locked up.
No, it was the post-Giuliani.
They make fun
That
of
they
it.
banned the
No, they make fun of it a
inside
lot
the
on
restaurant.
Sex in the City.
Oh, was that
So Mr. Brown should know what I'm talking about.
Bloomberg then?
I think it was, it was
okay.
Bloomberg because
Okay,
I was
there-
living there when you could smoke in clubs and restaurants, and then it just one day went away.
He's aging himself.
Yes, and
Again,
I was
you're
there.
going to have to block this out too because he keeps aging himself.
Well, just saying that you lived there during the Bloomberg.
during the Bloomberg
yeah,
period.
the Bloomberg
I was
period.
a child. I was 4 or 5 years old.
He was single digits.
My
hindsight.
friend Cheetah. You never told me he was a freaking chimpanzee. Oh my
I thought
God!
his name was
Oh my
Cheetah.
God!
Mr. Cotta.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, Mr. Gata.
No, I actually had a teacher in chorus when I was in high school. He was a substitute because our main teacher was out with pneumia, a double walking pneumonia.
Why'd you laugh when you said it?
No, because the
She
new
didn't like him.
no, he was very. The main teacher, Mr. Spraggins, was amazing, and he
Bilbo
never.
Baggins?
Yes, Bilbo
Mr.
Spraggins. Mr. Spraggins got sick and he couldn't come to work for like 3 months. But he called everybody Mr. Man or Miss Lady. He never bothered to learn your name.
Hey there, Mr. Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, but how did he say Mr. Man?
Hey there, Mr.
I'm not going to
Man.
answer that.
Miss
I think
Lady.
you already know the answer.
Yes.
For instance, when I did my June Carter, Johnny Cash duo with a friend of mine, Steve Manley, I kept time for him because he couldn't keep time or rhythm. And so I would tap
And you
my-
have a perfect sense of rhythm.
I do, actually, when it comes to singing. So I would tap my leg to let him know when his line was coming up in the song. And Mr. Spraggins was like, Miss Lady, over here. just kept time. And I was like, But we had a substitute who came in, and because we were talking about Mr. Cotter, and he was like, all right, so I'm going to be the substitute. I'm taking care of y'all for the next couple of months because Mr. Spraggins is sick.
He's dead.
Can you dig it? And I was like, I knew that you could. And he was like, you're my favorite. He freaked out because I knew what he was talking about.
All right, so let's talk about the
Yes.
hoodlums.
Oh, fuck you.
The hoodlums. I like the hoodlums.
Well, I like them until they break into her apartment.
That was a little.
That was
too much.
that was a very
Why?
disjointed thing where it's like,
And Dad actually broke down the
Yeah.
door so it couldn't be closed and locked again.
yeah, he's
At
kind of
least it's
stupid.
not Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I know. I was actually waiting for Jeff Goldblum to. Jeff Goldblum was in the apartment across the hall raping a woman.
Yes. It's like, shut up over there. I'm tired of you taking banana.
That's not a knife. Oh wait,
That was the
sorry,
wrong movie.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
You're
that's-
killing cousin Balky. No, I swear, the guy looks like
Little
Bronson Pinchot.
cowboy
You have
hat.
to. Okay, so for those of us who might
Are
not be watching, the thug gets lifted up in the air. Joe Lara lifts the thug up in the air one-handed, Darth Vader style, not Darth Vader style,
Yeah.
Darth Vader style.
Well, sufficient motivation.
Is that no? But let me ask: is that even doable?
Now without a rope
Really?
attached to your waist.
Without the force?
No,
I mean, because me as a lady, I'm smaller. I definitely couldn't lift a
I'm
man dead
sure.
off his
I'm
feet.
sure that there are people that can do it, but they do not look like Joe Lara.
No.
So
They
who
look like meat
who
mountains.
could in that case? Let's talk celebrities.
Goldberg? I don't know.
No. Let's talk celebrities. So,
Oh,
like,
celebrities?
The Rock could do
Maybe
it.
Arnold.
No, I don't
Maybe
know.
The Rock?
No, I don't think The Rock could do it.
He's a professional wrestler. Like,
So?
I don't know. His legs are bigger
Vasily
than my,
Alexiev?
or his arms are bigger than my legs.
I mean, I'm thinking like Olympic class.
Olympic
so
weight
Michael
lifter.
Phelps,
Yes, Michael Phelps. Yes.
who cannot outswim
maybe a
a great
figure
white shark.
skater.
Yeah. Pastorius.
Oh, those are his boots. You're right, Adam. He's not got loafers on. He's got his
Wearing his
see?
knee-high
His
leather
knee-highs.
boots.
What an uncomfortable costume.
yeah.
And I wonder if Joe, to stay in character, kept the loincloth on in all the scenes.
I
where,
hope so.
Like she didn't buy him
So
underwear.
She
This
did
movie-
not buy him
Yeah.
any kind of...
This movie arrived after Lethal Weapon, right? Because Lethal
Yeah,
Weapon
89.
was 87.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
This is post Lethal
That's where
Weapon,
Joe Lara learned how to kill men with his thighs.
oh, yes.
What
He
else
learned
is
it
he
from
going to kill
Mel.
with,
Mel, just call me. You and Tom are in a race now, so
Yeah.
we'll see who calls me first.
We are coming up
I'm
on
cute
our
as a button.
first break.
Excellent.
Sure.
It's time.
So we will be back in about 1 second.
Maybe.
And we're back.
We are back.
we
Good to
are.
be back.
And Tarzan is still in Manhattan.
And he's staying with Jane Porter in her apartment. She
Yes.
invited him back, which is the first thing you do when you see someone with a loincloth in the streets.
Tarzan.
Bring him right back to your place. Well, if you look like
I'm
Joe Lara,
Jane.
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, she so wants to bang Joe Lara.
Oh,
She's,
my God.
She is.
Wouldn't? He's beautiful. My
You'd
God.
think if
Yeah.
you lived in the jungle, you'd be banging everything you could
Yeah,
get your hands
yeah,
on. So
yeah.
he would
That's
be.
the thing.
Sure,
Like,
not a lot of human females around in
doesn't
the,
matter.
in the
You got
jungle.
gorillas.
Yeah.
Question for you, gentlemen. Oh, back
Even
when
a-
carpeting was such a thing. Carpet on top of carpet.
Yeah.
What's the movie with Ed? I cannot
Wood?
remember his name. No.
Sullivan? Begley
not
Jr.?
Ed Wood. No.
Norton.
Shut up. If you own a rug, you own too much, is what he says. Because if you have carpet on top of carpet, what the hell are you doing with your life? And that was the 80s purely because there's carpet going down the carpeted stairway.
No, that's concrete.
Yeah, that almost looks like a.
No, the other angle.
Oh,
so
okay.
when Jane goes up the stairs to the bathroom, she's like, I'm going to take a shower, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she runs
Don't break my mid-century modern table.
Yeah, so and she's got a chair facing directly parallel and away from her television. Like the layout of the apartment doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think
seriously.
given how he looks, I think it would have been funny if the music would have been Michael Bolton.
Yes.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh, but he looks at the bear once again, another animal
that's
that he would
foreshadowing.
never have seen.
No, but
You-
he had it as a child.
You have a
That's when
kind
he
face.
got
But he's
burned up.
never seen a real one. He's just
No,
seen
but he
stuffed
had
animals.
a teddy bear.
in the plane.
I know that, but he's never seen it. So, like, does he know?
No, he did see it.
It was a teddy bear.
No.
He's never seen a real
Y'all
bear.
are missing what
Yes.
I'm saying. He's never seen a real bear. Yes. So he recognizes the stuffed teddy bear. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so he's connected to that emotionally. But once again, that's another example of Tarzan not.
Sorry.
He got wet, so he had to take his clothes off.
See, I do this and nobody gets
The
excited.
blender. So the father
Why does
came
she
in.
just have shit sitting in the blender? Like he goes and presses the
Ho,
button.
ho, 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 and it comes.
Got his
Tony-
Beretta,
What is
stainless
Tony
steel
Curtis?
Beretta.
What look is he going for? What look?
Sylvester Stallone.
It's the 80s
It's like a.
A-team kind of bizarre look.
I love it when a plan
I'm not saying this in a
doesn't come together.
derogatory way, but he looks like he's coming across as a kind of gay nightclub bouncer.
Maybe.
You know, like.
Were you in the Eagles together? What is the animosity about? My God. But yeah, Jane comes out and I don't know what this is, hindsighters. I'm going to go ahead and speak as a woman. When I take a shower, I also wash my hair. I don't know what it is about other women, but they seem to come out of the shower with completely, perfectly dried hair that they never let the water touch. They either wore a water
It's called
cap or
suspend
something.
your disbelief.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, poor
Because
Tony
apparently
Curtis.
you're not supposed. Oh, that loincloth! My God. Sorry, I got
Tony
distracted.
Curtis, this is all I could think of, who starred with Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, all these phenomenal
He had a
movies.
TV series with Roger Moore.
So who was he with?
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
The
No, no,
Persuaders.
The
Oh, The Persuaders. It was
So
really
how-
good. Yeah.
Who remembers Tony Curtis for what? Like, what did you watch that you most remember him by?
That's actually what I think of first.
Because I think of The Odd
'Cause
Couple.
No, that was Jack Lemmon.
yeah.
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau were in The Odd Couple.
Damn, no, that was the movie.
Yes.
What was the TV?
Oh, that
The
would be
TV
Jack Klugman. Jack Klugman and Tony
I messed
Curtis.
up. I messed up either way. Do the
No,
wah
is it-
wah.
no, Tony.
Fucking
I
believable.
know I'm bad.
No, it's
I'm
not
bad.
Tony Curtis. It's who is it? Who was in The Odd Couple? TV
Jack
show?
Klugman and
Tony Randall.
Tony Randall.
Tony Randall.
Tony.
Okay.
Tony
Just a
Randall.
It
different-
was a Tony. I
different
messed
Tony.
up. Okay. I still accept.
There, it's fixed.
I still accept the blame. I messed
No,
up.
that's okay. That's okay. No, Tony
I'm not
Curtis.
as old as the other people in the room.
I say in the 50s and 60s, he was a hot item. Very hot item.
Tony Curtis was one of those actors that
Wasn't he a
When
good
He was
dancer?
on the Flintstones, too.
was he?
Yeah, Stony Curtis. If you remember, Stony Curtis
Are you
was on
fucking
the...
with us right now?
No.
Oh my
Look
God.
up
Yeah,
Stony Curtis. Look it
I
up right
will.
now.
I will put it on the
Just
camera.
put
and
Stone-
everything.
You know, I
Curtis.
heard an interesting, not to derail everything, but the Flintstones, interesting
gonna-
fan theory about the Flintstones, that it's actually not in the past, but it's in the post-apocalyptic future, and that's why they know about things like cars.
Oh.
And because
Oh
they...
my God. Sorry.
What? No, let's see it. Let's see it.
Yeah,
What
show
do we
it up
have?
to the camera. There's Stony Curtis from the Flintstones. See?
That's a hot mess.
He was a hot item. I love Tony Curtis.
Oh God. Ah, Bob.
Well, you know, Tony Curtis is one of those actors that you'll say his name and people
had
will
very
go,
blue eyes.
Tony Curtis. Yeah, of course I know Tony Curtis. What was he in?
The Odd Couple, because I'm stupid.
No, but that's the thing, though. It's like he was in.
A lot of stuff. Wasn't he a good dancer? Am I wrong about that?
No idea.
He could have been. He could dress. He could dress as a woman.
He was
really
no
well.
Jackie Gleason. I'll tell you that much.
No.
I mean, Burt Reynolds would back you up on that,
Yes,
Jason.
yeah.
So whatever.
Okay, so now the lovable neighborhood toughs cross the line and break into her house because they needed a beat to end that act with.
Yes, that's exactly right. And of course,
And
they
Tarzan's
pin her
sleeping on the
down, and
porch.
she's not really that scared because it's like, come on, Billy.
She could
what are you
probably beat
doing?
all of them
Yeah.
up.
What I don't understand about this is, see, there you go.
There's your
Mel Gibson. Wait, not Mel Gibson, but I mean,
Joe Lara.
Joe
all
Lara
right,
killing people.
you. All right.
We know what my tombstone's gonna say.
He doesn't- he
breaks
doesn't
a
kill them.
baseball.
Fucking understand.
He breaks a baseball bat in half.
And it was autographed.
It was autographed.
by Mickey Mantle,
And
who was
why
also
did-
played by.
Tom.
That's
James.
right.
there you go.
See, that's
Tom, I have your autograph.
Ha ha! The funny bit. It's a funny joke. They throw all knives. They have a lot of knives.
No,
and
but
shuriken. I saw
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
funny.
guns,
funny.
everything. So, and this is so lacking in logic. So Tarzan
No.
rescues Jane from the neighborhood toughs, as you said, Jason, and there's like 6 of them.
Yeah.
At first, you only see like 2 or 3 when they attack Jane in her bed. Tarzan's sleeping on the porch.
That's why you always keep a Joe Lara outside your window.
Yeah, in a loincloth.
Exactly. And
that was a security system.
Exactly.
In the 80s, the Joe
And
Lara
she's
system.
got like a Curious George doll, which is hilarious.
Oh, God.
He's wearing a yellow shirt. There's something so wrong with this whole.
There's backstory to her that we don't know about.
There's a reason why she likes Tarzan. But no, seriously, gentlemen. So Tarzan is. I don't even know if he understands.
Stop swinging from things.
He doesn't know the concept of being a gentleman, but like he wants to protect Jane. He wants to shelter and protect her, and that's a whole thing. Yeah. So he's like, Tarzan will sleep on the porch, like, and so he sleeps outside. He hears the toughs come in, attack Jane, and then he smothers one of them with his thighs, and that's all it takes. And he makes them throw all of their weapons on the floor. Yeah, and he's like, I keep this one. You take the rest, like, and they get all of their weapons back except for one knife.
Right. The cab that Jane drives is such a perfectly pristine show cab that I think Fozzie Bear should be driving it.
No, but seriously, like, what fight are you gonna freaking win when? Let's go back to that. So Tarzan,
you're not gonna beat your Jan Michael-Vincents. I know that much.
You're not. Calling all Jan Michael-Vincents. But seriously, Tarzan comes in. He rescues Jane with his thighs. And he keeps one knife. He gives the rest of the weapons back to the other toughs. Wouldn't you just kill him at that point? Like,
it's
that?
It's a gesture. He proved his
manliness.
His manliness. He vanquished one of the big ones.
He showed that his penis was bigger than their penises, and so they are now cowed.
They felt it pressing against the back of their neck when it was being squeezed. The head was being squeezed.
So I want to die, Mel.
You know, they say there's no honor in thieves. There really is.
Well, this was
no honor amongst thieves.
No honors amongst thieves.
But it's good though, because if this had happened a few years earlier when Jeff Goldblum was still running that racket,
oh boy,
would have been a very different thing.
That would have been
very different.
He'd be taking the banana.
Pull ass up off Jane.
I'm gonna ignore the hell out of both of them, hindsighters.
Tony Curtis.
But he looks good. He's got a good head of hair. Unless it's a $72,000 hairpiece. I don't know, but he
probably.
I mean,
Tony
Sean Connery had something similar.
I think that's a piece. That might actually be the piece that ended up on Sean Connery's head. It sort of looks
Sean
like
Connery's
it.
was a different color, so wasn't it?
No, it was silver.
Yeah. It was silver?
It was silver.
Okay, and then I don't remember.
Well, they wanted to repurpose it.
It's like he's
and there's the
trying
villain who framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was trying to look like an old Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, Rocky. 76.
Yeah.
It's like if Rocky and Paulie had merged in a transporter accident, you would have ended up with Tony Curtis in this movie.
You eat dogs in this country? That's a bit that's happening right now.
Yes, we do.
No, it's a cow. I did like that. I thought it was actually kind of witty.
It's cow. It's not dog.
Yeah, what are you, weird?
But the thing is, he loves animals so much. Would it matter?
Right.
Yeah,
dog, cow. It's still ruthless.
Yeah, seriously. And he's a predator. Like, that's the thing about Tarzan is that, A, he never has a beard or facial hair. Like, how is he so clean shaven?
Why do you think he wants that knife? He shaves everything but the treasure trail.
Well, speaking of shaving.
Because it's imperfect.
I know.
So, gentlemen, I have a question for you. And this is something that's always bothered me. Like, girls and guys shave differently, obviously, because hair goes in different places.
A little bit.
But,
the more you know.
No, but when we're talking about a shave, like, what about a close razor shave? Like, does that make you nervous? Have either of you ever had one of those? Like...
I would not do it.
You've never done it?
I've seen too many mafia movies where they cut your throat. I'm not going to.
I've only the person who cuts my hair now,
the back of the neck.
She does the back of the neck with the blade, and it's like, if she really wanted to, she could kill me, but
But
you've been with her so long.
You trust her not to.
I've had a good run.
Well, we talked about that, but the thing is, like, you've got different arteries, and it's always made me nervous to watch any guy. Like, I grew up watching my dad shave his neck, and I was just like, God, how do you not get nervous when you do that?
Sorry. I am taking a picture of the screen because the picture
Joe
there,
Lara, my God,
that is 1980s television.
Hey, boy.
That is all of that is Donald P. Belisario summed up in one shot, even though he had nothing to do with this.
Adam's texting me right now. With him and Joe Lara.
Yeah, you got a picture of Joe. So Don Belisario, he's a Penn State graduate.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he donated a lot of money and built a whole building. Don Belisario.
I know a guy who told him to go fuck himself. He was an editor.
Do tell.
I think I told this on the show before.
You did tell this. You just have to go back a few episodes.
All right. Yeah, actually,
that's kind of the story.
Well, what I love about this, they're going into the...
You can see like how there's a gap between the bushes.
Like it's so obvious. They would all notice these three people crashing down.
Well, especially Jane in her wedding dress with like a white... she's in a white gown and she's got a blonde.
I know where you're going with
But how are you going to get Tarzan into this place? It's got to be a costume.
Exactly.
Party. So they built the costume party, and this is Jan Michael-Vincent's home or lair, whatever you want to call it.
It's the Batcave.
Let's talk about
the Batcave.
Jan Michael-Vincent.
Calling all Jan Michael-Vincent.
So I did speak to Joe Lara.
Okay. Because
this was 10 years.
We got some dirt.
10 years after this was made, we worked together. and he said Tony Curtis was awesome. He loved working with Tony Curtis. Okay. Jan Michael-Vincent, may he rest in peace, was an asshole.
Huge surprise.
And he smelled of liquor he was drunk the whole time.
Apparently just like iced tea.
And he said he was very difficult to work with. He never really wanted to work with him again, but everyone else was fantastic. And yes, they prayed upon their knees that this would become a series. He wanted this to become a series, but as with most things in Hollywood,
it
never works out.
Yeah.
Like my career. But anyway.
Well, it could be worse because you could have gotten a career and then ended up like Jan Michael-Vincent.
Tony Curtis.
Dear God.
No, I think Jan Michael-Vincent has him beat. had him beat, at least.
You're right.
I forgot about his leg.
He had substance.
How did I forget that?
Issues.
Yeah, he had some challenges. He had some demons.
He did.
Remind us what those are, because some of the hindsighters.
Drugs and booze. Well,
and alcohol.
Booze,
why did he lose
mainly
his leg?
booze.
I forget about the leg.
I don't even remember. It was obviously that. I don't know if it was a medical thing that caused that, or if that caused an accident of some sort.
Or he could have developed diabetes.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Let's find out.
I think that's probably what it is.
Check it out.
And he was a
He was a good-looking, talented individual.
He was like a Tom Cruise. He was a good-looking headliner, and
but he got a lot too big for his britches, I think.
Well, as most headliners do, like Tom Cruise.
Well, I mean, think about, you're on a TV show, and the show is a success, Airwolf, but you are such a problem that they have decided we're getting rid of you, and that means totally retooling the entire show.
Yes.
The last season of Airwolf was literally, it was Dick Van Dyke's son.
Yes, I can't remember his name.
Not Jerry.
Not Jerry's his brother, but
he didn't lose it due to substance abuse.
What was it?
Car accident?
So
was it a car accident?
Mr. Vincent was also involved in another crash in 2008, and in 2012, an infection led doctors to amputate part of his right leg.
Okay.
We're sorry.
No,
Mr. Vincent.
I'm not. I'm pretty sure the two are related.
Yeah.
He was in an accident, damn it.
Because he was driving under the influence of some kind of substance.
Well, you know what? We'll never know the answer.
They just say another accident. They just say another crash. They don't say...
who's prone to accidents?
They are ruthless hindsighters.
It's not my fault. I was in an accident.
You must understand, Jason and I have been on the earth much longer. We've seen a lot more. One day you'll get there.
Yeah.
And you'll understand.
Yes, you'll be a bitter cynic like me someday.
Yes. I think I already am.
You're getting there.
I'm young for it, but I hang out with old gentlemen, hindsighters, so it's a problem.
But he's got a nice head of hair.
Yeah, he really does.
He's looked good. He was 44 when this was shot.
He looks about like you did during Much Ado About Nothing, Mr. Brown.
I know. It's amazing how much I've aged in 2 years.
Joe Lara just had to go off.
Me, she was like, what have you been doing to these guys? What happened to their hair?
They're getting very old, unfortunately.
What? Who?
Bobby.
You look like someone who was on the show once.
Cece was like, Jade, seriously, Adam never looks the same. And I was like, yeah.
Well, you have to understand, for like 40 years, I looked exactly the same. And for once in my life, I'm trying different looks, and it's fun.
It is.
I grew a beard. It was different colors. My hair seems to change with the winds.
I've told Jason this on multiple occasions, but my parents have even argued with me that you're not you.
And I like that.
They're like, no, Jade, Adam.
I like that.
No.
Where's Adam? The guy that was in Much Ado.
No, Sam Waterston, Capri unicorn won? And I'm like, oh, guys.
What was the movie? It was the one with the shark and it ate the bathers. Jaws. No, not that one.
They're like, we saw him in a play with you. Yeah, he was Benedict, right? And I was like, yeah.
Where did he
There was the sleds.
Did he move away?
The guy said Rosebud. It was Citizen Kane. It was Citizen Kane.
I was like, guys, not to put too fine a point on it, but I know what the hell he looks like. Like, it's don't worry about it.
Yes.
That's him on my phone. Don't worry.
And Jan Michael-Vincent is still attracted to this woman when she opens her mouth and gives that horrible
When she opens her mouth.
and gives that horrible New
What
York
does she
accent.
say?
Oh my God.
Oh, Babby.
Real quick, we've got a couple of new people commenting on our videos. I want to say a quick shout out to Will.
Hi, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Are you one of my trolls?
No. He
kidding.
seems to like us.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. He hasn't seen enough of the show yet. So
I have so many trolls.
Who has suggested he was commenting?
An older gentleman. This is when I wasn't there. We were doing this for you.
Well, he was actually watching Poseidon and I think one of the airport movies,
okay.
and
we did multiples, and Mr. Brown showed up in costume for both.
Suggested a movie that I have not thought of in years, the Cassandra Crossing.
Will, I don't even know what that is, but
Most people don't.
Here's what I'm willing to do it.
Yes.
Darth is down.
Yeah.
And therefore the boys are down because I do all the scheduling.
Well, the Cassandra Crossing is a movie directed by the guy who directed Tombstone, George P. Cosmatos, and it's widely regarded as one of the worst of the disaster movies.
I'm your Huckleberry.
So it'll be fun. So we'll do that. But yeah, so I will.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Will. Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard. Thank you for joining.
Encourage your friends to like us and follow us. We're
desperate.
We set a goal for 50 by the end of the year.
Yes, and if our trolls troll me, that's all they do. They don't care about the boys. They
Troll me, please troll me.
Adam wants a troll. Go for it.
Yeah. Troll me even
me.
if you like me. Just troll me.
Yeah, just say mean things about us.
Say mean things.
Okay, so
we can handle it. Yes.
Smell question, gentlemen, with my anosmia. So Tarzan gets upset. Getting back to the movie, he says he smells death because there are all these stuff.
He smells what is it? What do they do when you stuff animals? It's
formaldehyde. No,
I was thinking. I smell taxidermy. I smell taxidermy.
No, but did taxidermied animals smell? Like what are they?
I'm sure.
I mean, they gotta.
He has the same nose that we have, but strangely because he was raised by apes.
The same nose that we have? No, I can't smell.
The same nose that we have.
Yes.
So, like, I even had to call my dad yesterday because I was watching Sex and the City, which Mr. Brown was on, Hindsighters. Not making fun. Anyway.
Hey, you got a SAG card out of it.
I did.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. In New York City. But,
the city.
No, I asked my dad because Mr. Big tells Carrie at some point that eating oranges in bed makes the sheets stink. And I was like, Dad, is that a thing? Like, they make candles out of citrus. Like, what?
I think eating any food in bed makes it stink.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
So I was like, Daddy, you're the only... Shut up.
Eating lobster in bed.
Eating bisque in bed.
Cracking crabs.
Crawfish.
Daddy, I grew up with Daddy, like, peeling oranges. He would eat them, like, and peel them while we were watching Star Trek on the couch. And I was like, but... does citrus stink?
Oh, you can smell it from a long way away. It's like perfume.
Yeah.
Well, what he told me was anything that like stays on your pillow, he was like, you said that Carrie eats them in bed, right? Anything that like stays on your sheets for too long, yeah, it's just the smell that lingers too long is gonna stink.
That's what's her name? The actress
Sarah Jessica Parker. She wasn't
Sarah
nice,
Jessica
Mr.
Parker. Her
she was
her
snooty.
pillow. I'm pretty sure that the orange will probably be the best smelling thing on the pillow.
We're sorry, Sarah.
It can't hurt.
We're not
I thought
fans.
she was mean to you.
She was. She was aloof.
Sarah, you're
and
smaller than
snobby.
I am. Bring
Did
on.
you try to give her a sugar cube?
No.
That'll calm her right down.
Her face looks like a foot. Sarah, you were mean to my Mr. Brown.
Joe Lara chased after her.
She was pulling the cart. He calmed her down. But
They should have hired him to be the wrangler on the.
we're so mean.
Now, Jason, how do they shoot fireworks through people without injuring them like that? Are they on strings or something?
There's
They've
citrus
got to
water.
be.
Look.
Yeah.
There's oranges in those waters.
He is amazing how he can. He's freeing Cheetah now from the
From the cage.
the basement.
Aw,
of the
little
building.
baby. Yeah.
Aw, my baby.
That is a cute.
You have a
little
good father, baby. I had to fall down a little bit of a
Quick, Jim, we've got to go. Spock, Archimedes.
Chiquita.
Damn it, Archimedes! It's not time for a running bit yet.
Michael Jackson's chimp.
Oh, but he dropped his ID card. Don't drop your ID card when they've got highly pixelated cameras that can zoom in.
That's how you shoot a gun. And there's a cowboy.
I know, it's so weird.
My God.
Imagine.
Come on, this is the
It is. Well,
this is the 18.
Imagine, because, in 1989, of course, we were all in the analog world. Imagine just sitting down and turning the TV on and coming across, starting this scene where Tarzan is being shot at by cowboys and Tony Curtis is there.
And maybe that's the only thing, and you recognize. So this is a thing, hindsighters, for those of you who aren't old enough, like young Adam, when you would turn on a movie and just sit and watch it.
Yeah.
Because it was on. So what's the movie that y'all would sit and watch? Not just out of pure boredom or anything. So, for instance, my dad's favorite movie in the whole wide world is Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Every year we watch Wizard of Oz.
It's his favorite movie of all
Gone
time.
with the Wind.
No matter what timestamp it's on, Daddy will stop what he's doing and watch that damn
Jaws.
movie. Okay, so Jaws for you.
If I as a kid, any James Bond movie or Jaws.
It was James Bond.
Yeah.
Always James
Well,
Bond.
I know James.
TBS.
That's a guy thing in general.
You
so,
would like, what's on TBS? Oh, it's a Bond film.
especially during Thanksgiving where they do the 7 days of 007.
Do they still do that?
I don't think so anymore.
See, and that's
But
the
I'm
thing.
not sure because we don't have cable. We don't have streaming. We only have streaming.
Well, see, that is the weird thing, and it's a really good point because there was kind of this joyfulness to there's going to be a Bond movie on every night, and I know that now I can go and just tell my TV to play me James Bond movies, and I can pick them and start and stop them.
It's a whole different world.
It's just not as satisfying.
I remember,
it's not.
Yeah.
I remember in college, this is Airwolf now, I wanted to watch Airwolf. If someone was in my dorm in the TV lounge, because we didn't all have TVs, would you mind if we watch Airwolf? No, I'm watching this. Shoot. I'd go to another dormitory. Hey, you mind if we watch Airwolf? No, I'm watching this. I'd go from dorm to dorm until I found either a TV that wasn't being used or someone would be like, yeah, throw on Airwolf. And then I would sit and watch Airwolf.
And you probably missed
Saturday
the first
night.
half of it.
It didn't
by this
matter.
point.
I loved, the aircraft. It was great.
Okay, so Airwolf for you.
Airwolf, I
Jaws
love
or
Airwolf.
James
Either
Bond
Jaws or
for
James
either of you.
Bond, yeah.
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
obviously.
naturally. Yes.
And a lot. It's weird for me because my mom, she and I would watch rom-coms together. So I was like, "Hey, Pretty Woman's on Hulu," and I'll let her know when stuff like that comes up. And she's like, "Oh my God, I love that movie," and I'm like, "I know you do," because I grew up watching rom-coms with my mom, so that my dad could be spared the experience. But so Pretty Woman, Notting Hill. I watched Notting Hill on repeat until it went off of Netflix. You watched it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we were texting about it the other night.
I mean, honestly, Die Hard. That's
Die
another.
Hard's good.
That's another. Jaws really springs to mind because that was the one that it was like, Jaws is on.
Now
And,
so it's more about the actors. So if I'm like,
Yeah.
a Mel Gibson flick is on, or this movie's on, like a Tom Jane movie's on, and not just the guys I have crushes on, but I'm like, a Julia Roberts movie is on, and I love most of her movies, so I'll sit and watch it. No matter where it is.
Yeah.
But I don't have cable anymore, so that's not an experience that I get.
No, it's a weird thing. We have maximum convenience and minimal satisfaction.
Yeah, because even when I was staying with Sid, I think the first time that I stayed with your dog, Jason, I was like, oh my God, Mad Max is on Netflix. And you called your dog to a T. He was ready to go to bed, and he was in the bed, and he was waiting for me, and he was just like... Yeah, he's your buddy, I know.
Yeah.
But he was like, all right, Aunt Jade, all right. Yeah, I know, break. But so I'll...
No. That's him doing that with his watch.
Oh, okay. But anyway, he was like, yeah, I'm ready for bed. And I was looking for him because he's so tiny.
No, quick aside, hold that thought, because now Tarzan is having a flashback because he got shot in the arm and he's going through fever.
That's where you see the teddy bear again.
That's where the plane is crashing and he's only the survivor.
And
the irony.
Saying flashback, finish your story, but I've got some grim news.
Oh no, I'm going to finish happy story. We'll take a break and we'll come back for grim news. But yeah, you called Sid to a T, and I just saw Mad Max on Netflix, and I was like, Sid, we're watching this. And he was like, Aunt Jade, really? And I was like, he talks to me. He calls me
talk,
Andrew.
yeah.
He's a talker. He's a little Jewish man.
What is this? You want to watch Mad Max? Come on, it's 9:00.
He was like, Aunt Jade, really? And I was like, yeah, I gotta watch this. And
She fits in like crazy over here.
he had his little red ball, and he was like, he was ready to go to bed. He was like, all right, fine. So we're watching this, but we watched Mad Max together, and I cuddled him really hard because I was like, oh my god, everybody's dying in this movie. Sid, I hate this, and he was like, I told you not to watch it.
And
I was like, you do talk.
Was it Mel Gibson's voice, or was it?
Oh, it's Sid's voice. He has a very
No. Was
voice.
it the dubbed? I think that
It was the dub version. He did not have his Australian accent.
Speaking of dogs talking,
No. He had his Australian accent, but it was the dub version.
Okay.
But it was because Mel Gibson, when he first appeared on SNL, he hosted one year, I want to say late 80s or early 90s, when he still had his Australian accent. And he was like, here's the thing about being in movies. Little effort, big reward. Here's the thing about being on television. Lot of effort, little reward. Don't like it. So that was his whole opening speech on SNL. And I don't remember anything that Mel Gibson ever said ever.
now,
We're taking a break and then we have Grim
real
News.
quick, this is the Grim News will be after. But speaking of talking dogs, somebody said, imagine if, and it would go with cats also.
Right.
If you were with your dog or your cat by yourself
'cause you
one
have a
day,
cat, yeah.
and you look down at your dog or your cat, and they said to you, "Hey, I can talk. I'm talking now. I'm never going to talk ever again, and no one is ever going to believe you."
I believe that
And
Millie
then
and
never
Watson have
talk.
done that to you.
What?
Because Millie talks. She's
Sometimes
mouthy.
I hold my cat or hold my dog and look in their eyes, and they do communicate with me.
Oh yeah.
No, they totally
I can
do.
feel.
Well, I
it.
told you the thing
talk.
about when they put the dogs in the MRI, and they spoke to them.
Oh, the sound
And-
messes
and-
with their ears.
No. They looked at their brains when humans were speaking to them in the language that they were raised in.
Right.
And the dog's brain reacts to spoken language exactly the same way as yours does, leading them to conclude
Oh, big time.
they absolutely speak your language. They just don't talk, but they
No.
understand what you're saying.
100% because my dog speaks Spanish and they speak English. They know what afuera means when they need to go outside. I'm like, you can go afuera if you're being bad, and it's usually Watson who's being bad. But I'm like, afuera immediatamente, if not sooner, and he's like, fine, and he goes to the door.
You
Bilingual
need to get some of those, the buttons that you can record words, and so the dogs press them. And have you seen? Go on YouTube and look this up. There are dogs that will literally go like, go outside, pee pee.
No,
or go outside, poop, and
dogs-
it literally will tell their owner.
Dogs can read
Yeah.
too with the buttons. Like they learn the the signage and
Take
everything.
that, cheetah.
But no, it was adorable. When I was at the aquarium on my birthday, my last birthday, there was a little girl who came up to me because I was at the tank by the belugas in the ballroom, and I was quote unquote talking to the belugas. Josh was like, "What are you doing?" Because I was just touching the tank glass.
Saw
and
Spock do that once.
No, I was touching
George
the
and
tank
Gracie.
glass, and they
Yes.
they were coming up and just rubbing their heads and rubbing their sides, and they were coming up to.
What's he
talk.
saying?
No,
He doesn't like you.
Yeah, they hate me. But the belugas were coming up, and they were like, "Hi," and this little girl.
He thinks you're a dork.
Yeah, no, this little girl comes up to me, and I'll spare her name since she's less than 5 years old. But she comes up and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh,
I am melding.
I'm talking to the whales." And she was like, "How do you mean?" I said, "You hear that? You hear the clicking and the sounds that they're making? They're talking."
Janie, get away from the crazy lady.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Let's go look at the,
Yeah.
the turtles
She had
now.
a big purse.
had to fucking ruin it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Finish your story.
We're gonna take a break now.
No.
Insiders. We'll
'cause
be back in approximately 1 second.
And we're back.
Oh, we're back.
And
Tarzan in Manhattan.
yes, Darth
Lest we
was
forget.
You
was
can call
telling.
it New York City if you really want to.
And well, Darth was going to tell a story, but now she's gone
you
off
moved
on
on,
a
Darth, or you
tangent.
wanna-
So,
Okay.
I
something
already
about,
told my story.
okay.
All right.
You were
Very
the
good.
one who had something grim to share.
Grim
with us.
news. Speaking of flashbacks,
Is it just new? Did it just come out?
so
I'm afraid.
apparently they are filming
Oh God.
the
This
fifth
isn't grim news.
Indiana Jones.
Yes, I shared that information with you. I was the one who sent you the link for that.
No, you didn't. What? You didn't. No,
I'm not getting in between these two. They're about to fight.
No. No. Apparently, they're filming it, and there's another part to it.
Oh.
Yeah, and people were very confused because they were filming it in somewhere in Scotland, and
Like you do.
And there were Nazis everywhere, and it looks like it's going to have flashbacks to. Like they realized that nobody liked the last one because, frankly, come on, he's got to fight Nazis.
He hid in a refrigerator against a nuclear blast. Harrison,
And there's a
why
rumor-
did you want to be killed off of Star Wars and not Indiana Jones?
Well, because Indy was him. It was all him. He was the star.
I'm
Come
sorry
on.
that Mark Hamill was also hot in Star Wars. Get over it.
But apparently, Indy's stunt double, a young Indy look-alike, was on the set also. Harrison Ford was nowhere to be seen. And I heard a rumor, and I don't know if this part is true, that there was a moment where somebody, you're happy with this? You're happy with this?
I'm waiting with bated breath.
That so they're thinking it's going to be set in the 60s with flashbacks to the 40s, and another person playing Indiana Jones back in the 40s as a young Indy, not that young Indy.
Is it?
If it's not Christopher Pratt,
I was about to say if it's Clint Eastwood's son,
No.
I'll be down. He's
No.
a handsome young man.
but he's not Indy.
He's Clint Eastwood's boy. Who cares? Like,
He's not Indy.
no one's Indy.
Chris Pratt is.
No.
Yeah, Chris Pratt could do it.
Shia LaBeouf is Indy's boy. Like, who? I don't like where they took anything in any direction as far as Indy
The
goes.
point is that they're filming it, and it appears to be relying at least somewhat on flashbacks.
Whatever.
Okay.
Which is always a bad sign for a script.
Yes.
And there's a chance that there might be a sort of CG Harrison Ford's face on someone else's body.
Oh, kind of like Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. They CG
I never saw
animated
it.
his face to kind of look like Bruce Willis in that movie,
Okay.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
I didn't see it either, but
So that's where we're at. That's
We
that's
love
the
JGL.
that's the
Why are
state
we
of
doing it?
that's the
That's the
state of our
question.
world.
Yeah.
yeah, it just
Well,
But
soon,
it-
soon they won't need actors.
No,
We know
they
that.
really won't.
No, there was a movie about that with Al Pacino. I cannot remember what it was called. Do you know what I'm talking
BoJack.
about?
Something about her.
BoJack.
They didn't. Yeah, remember they scanned BoJack's face, and when he left, they just finished the movie.
That's right. But there was a movie years and years before that with Al Pacino where he was like a producer or an
I know which one you're
agent
talking
or
about.
something,
Yeah.
and his client was utterly CGI.
Yeah.
She wasn't a real person.
Well,
He
there's a-
completely made her up with a computer.
Well, there's a guy in Japan who legally married a hologram.
Are we talking about Krieger?
No, like
My cherry blossoms
there
are
is
wilting.
there's this thing in Japan where they have musical artists that don't exist that have concerts, and they're massive concerts, but it's a hologram.
We've done that here
Yeah.
with Michael Jackson and with Tupac,
Yeah, but at least Michael Jackson existed at one point.
but they completely made up
this
these people.
this
utterly.
person is so they can just shit can the whoever's singing for, get somebody else in, and they could have a career for 100 years.
Well, what
and
else do you
never
want on your
age.
writer? Hologram.
Yeah.
You never have to ask that
Technology
question.
always
Yeah,
replaces the worker.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen because it was not our Fayetteville in Georgia. I think it was Fayetteville, Tennessee, that is completely getting rid of employees at Walmart. They're only doing self-checkout, and they're going to test
They're
it.
getting rid of so they're not getting rid of like stalkers.
No, they're not getting rid of the other employees.
Okay, so
no,
like
they're
the
getting rid
front-
of
okay.
all the cashiers, and if it works out, they're going to spread that idea along the nation and just get rid of
Like
the
syphilis.
cashier employees.
Speaking
the sailor.
speaking as somebody with social anxiety, kind of fine with that because I love self checkout.
Well, what's
Bloop bloop bloop, and I'm out of there.
Yeah.
No small talk. No, did you find everything? No, I
Find everything
didn't
you
find
looked for
everything,
today.
and I blame
sometimes
you.
I don't find everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't care by the time I'm checking.
Exactly.
Like,
I've given up.
It doesn't matter.
There's
I found
no
the peanut
hope.
butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
So
Tarzan.
back to Tarzan. What's happened to Tony Curtis?
He started to get too close to Jan Michael-Vincent's scheme. So
What is this scheme?
Here comes the loincloth.
Oh, Lord. Well, they feed brains from one animal to another, and they become intelligent. That was the.
Like you do.
I don't know that was a weak spot.
They eat monkey brains.
We've been
like
eating
in
brains
Indiana
for
Jones.
years.
Well, he kind of implies that it never worked. He just did it. Like, he's not a scientist.
But,
he's
gentlemen,
a
what
hunter.
was the scheme? So what was Jan Michael-Vincent trying to attempt with the eating of the brains?
And then
what
he was going to get humans, and he was going to take Tarzan and Jane's brain and feed it to other people so that they could gain their knowledge and intellect, so that rich people could become super intellectual by eating the poor working class brains. That's what I took from it.
Which, like, whose brain would you eat if you wanted to gain any sort of
If you were
particular
rich, why
knowledge?
would you want a working class brain?
Well, there's that. No, but here's a fun question. So whose
Yes.
brain would you eat if that was a theoretical, if you really could do
Thomas
that, gain the
Jane.
knowledge?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Why?
Oh, come on, it'd be great.
Quit teasing me about Tom Jane. I love him. So what knowledge do you want from Jerry Seinfeld?
I would have the perfect sarcastic comment for any situation. It'd be great.
You're already there. Pretty much.
Yeah, I was about to
With
say, you don't
just
really have to
lack
worry
the
about
faith.
that.
He's
You
like,
got the
he's a
talent.
superhero of that, though.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yourself?
Oh, I've got to think about it for another second.
Okay.
I'll let Mr. Brown go.
Sidney Poitier's brain.
Ooh.
You could always
for
tell
what
people
reason?
that they call you Mr. Tibbs.
That's right.
Okay.
Because he is just cool as
Yeah.
anything.
cool as
I was
ice.
about to say Duke Ellington, but probably not.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'd probably eat Jeff Goldblum's brain.
That always sounded like zombies.
And Jeff
brains! Eat brains!
Because
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's brand. That would be a weird outcome.
Yeah.
That could go south real quick.
This is something I didn't tell you, gentlemen.
Being
This
John
is
Malkovich.
get ready. Embarrassing story forthcoming. I had a
Miles Davis, not Duke Ellington. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
The joke didn't work.
I know. It's like,
Yeah, the
okay.
joke didn't work. Miles Davis is see,
What a
it wouldn't have
yeah.
been.
Miles
See,
Davis-
Seinfeld wouldn't have
That
bombed
hot
that.
jazz
Seinfeld
cat.
would have had that.
He would have nailed it.
Kramer's brain. No, but Jeff Goldblum. So the other day, gentlemen, I had a dream about Jeff Goldblum where I was rejected.
Well, sadly,
And I was like, what are you, 68? My God.
What is it with the brain? All I want is a nice dream.
I always have dreams that are exactly like in real life.
It's so-
I ask a girl out, she says no in my dreams. And that's
yeah.
the sad part
It's
about
pathetic.
life.
Yeah, I know. It's like dreams are supposed to be,
You
awesome
get whatever
and
you
cool.
want.
No.
And you wake up and want to go back.
You would
No.
think so. But I was like, excuse me, Jeff Goldblum, cute as a button. What the hell is your problem? He sexually rejected me in my
it's
dream.
not-
Wait, hang on. She's doing the Miss Piggy cry. Me.
Correct.
With an oiled.
Well, okay, so why does
Tarzan
Joe
next to
Lara
her.
suddenly have a wrap around
That's
his...
where he was shot.
He was shot in the arm. He
Okay,
extracted the bullet. Don't you remember
yeah.
that?
I don't.
And then
I
he
don't
had
remember
the
a lot
fever.
about
He had
this
the
movie.
fever from the infection, and he remembered the plane crash and the teddy bear.
But then he ate a brain and he was all right. And there's a chimp in Jane's...
And why is there
This
a
is the
couch?
pre-COVID era.
There's a chimp in the freaking hospital.
Someone on the ICU.
There's your grandparents' front room in the hospital
In the ICU.
with the curtain and the and apparently somebody's working on their car.
Oh,
They got a ratchet set in there.
That's a film
Look
set.
at this. Like, and Joe Lara was clearly like cool with the animals on set. Like they got along,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
great. But you have to wonder, like, how would you get along if you had to be Tarzan and like have a chimp hanging on you?
I would love
like,
a chimp.
Yeah.
I love chimps.
All right.
Not the ones that rip my face
up to a
off.
point. Yeah.
But the
Yeah, not
cute ones.
those. Not the ones that remove your genitals or anything like that. No, because they do that when they get older
They
and they
poop
get
a
aggressive.
lot. They poop a lot, though.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
like to
there's a
fling it.
lot. Yeah,
So if you could star with any animal, horse, dog, chimp, what would it be?
turtle.
A sloth.
Why?
A sloth. I like sloths.
Because I could just pick up the turtle, put it in my pocket, and just do whatever the hell I was going to do anyway.
Oh, a turtle. So a very tiny
Very small turtle.
Okay.
Animals. I don't want to work with animals,
and
or
children.
yeah, no.
You never want to work with
Well,
those
that's
two.
why Leslie Knope from Parks and Recreation. So what's her name in real life? Amy
Poehler.
Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler.
No, Amy Poehler. She, I think that's one of the reasons why Parks and Recreation took such a hiatus for like 3 years to finish the final season, because she was like, I just had my real children with Will Arnett, and I don't want to deal with them.
And that's working out great.
Yes. So sad.
She's the mother of BoJack Horseman's children. God, poor Amy Poehler. But she was like, I don't want to deal with my children and then go to set, and because she and Ben Wyatt had their children.
No
she was
animals.
like, I don't want
no children,
extra
no
children.
Yeah.
I don't need that. And
neither does the audience.
no, we don't.
Yeah.
They kept it minimal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I just said that. Sorry about that. Yeah.
God.
Everyone's holding guns on Tarzan.
Yeah, but
he
he says,
doesn't care.
but he says freeze here, and the cops, and or no, that's later. I don't even know.
Those
This
are
is
some
the part
Ren Fair
where
boots.
the appeal of the movie had
picks.
completely worn off by this point, and
Yeah, I
I
don't
started
even know
paying
what's
attention to
Who
other
was that
things.
actor, that character actor who's the cop?
I don't know.
The one with the slack mouth. You know who I'm talking about? The one on the right?
Fred
He's-
Gwynn. Car 54, where are you?
You want to talk about nightmares?
Yes.
That
seen
show
him in
gave
so
me
many
freaking
things.
nightmares.
Car 54?
One episode of Car 54 was the most messed up. The Pagliacci episode.
I
Pagliacci.
haven't seen that. Oh,
Yeah.
the clown?
Yeah, he dreams and he hangs himself in the episode.
Oh, that's dark.
It was super dark.
That is
and I
dark.
saw it as a
Hal
kid.
Seinfeld
Well, no,
with the crazy guy who's following Jerry
Crazy Joe
around.
Duvall. Yeah.
God. But anyway, to answer my own question, I would probably start with a tiger. Going back.
Wait,
that.
any animal?
Yeah, any
blue
animal you
whale.
want. You said turtle, so
No, blue whale.
Why?
Because I just want to see a blue whale.
Okay, did you gentlemen bear witness to the fact that somebody was recently swallowed by a humpback
I
whale
did.
and spat out?
Yeah, and you'll
He
notice
wiggled.
I said blue whale.
Yes, he did.
I know you did, but
Yes. Different animal.
very different. But
Much more chill.
I'd probably start with a tiger because I saw an episode of with Steve Irwin way back in the 90s where he was walking a white tiger around a zoo on a leash, and I was like, who has that kind of power? My God.
Yeah. Siegfried
I
Roy.
wouldn't want to be mauled.
Yeah.
Siegfried Roy.
One had his head bit off.
Yeah.
It was Roy, right? Not Siegfried. It was Roy.
I think
it was Roy, yeah.
Yeah, let's look that up.
And he did eventually pass away.
Well, the thing is, wait, what?
So
Roy.
Cheetah
Roy's
just
dead.
drove a cop car. He stole a cop car.
Like you do as a chimp.
And then now the Hoods have taken the cop car away.
Yeah, Cheetah has go-go gadget legs. His legs extended all the
Go-Go
way down
gadget
to
wreck
the.
It was losing the appeal.
Yeah.
Because now it's not even
We
in New
paid for
York.
the monkey. We're gonna film the monkey. It's actually a chimpanzee. You're fired.
Who cares?
Get off my set.
I'm looking this up. You're
dead to me.
Actually
You're
died. God.
me.
But
You're right.
The
Roy died in 2020.
yeah. He lived for quite a while after.
Damn. After the tiger.
After the
mauled him.
tiger attack. Yeah.
No, but when did Siegfried die?
Siegfried. I thought Siegfried's still alive.
No,
No.
Siegfried
Died first.
One just died recently.
Roy died recently.
Roy died at 75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's the one that lived.
You're
Siegfried got bitten.
You're wrong. Anyway, yeah, so animals, tigers, lions, and bears.
Oh my.
But I would start with a tiger, but the thing is about white tigers, do you gentlemen know this?
They're beautiful.
Not just they're beautiful, most of them are born with Down syndrome because they're inbred enough to be a sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
But
Wow.
no one? That was
That's good.
fantastic,
It's
Michael.
getting late in the day.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
So anyway, Tarzan and Jane, what are we doing?
Let's talk about, because
We can wrap it up.
they thwart the plan.
Yes.
But what's important though is the very end of the movie, because after they thwart the plan,
those 80s
what is Tarzan intending to do?
He wants to head home.
Yeah.
Back with the animals.
Get out of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get out of New York. And in fact, Tony Curtis is in the ICU, and you think he may die.
Yeah.
But then the writer said, hey, we got to see if we can get a series out of this.
Yeah.
So he comes wheeling out like white lightning.
Yeah.
All the white lightning.
And so, yeah, he wants to go back to the animals. But Tony asks, hey, would you like to join my detective firm?
And that is literally
And
as
what?
bad as it is.
Yeah.
Being a child of the 80s, you go, hang on a second.
That works.
All right.
Yeah.
Tarzan working for a detective agency.
Yeah. Why?
Why not?
and how?
All right, I'm
How
down.
in the freaking hell?
Well, because that's what you could do in the 80s. You could literally do anything you want to and end it with, and joins a detective agency, and it could be a series.
I guess. Meanwhile,
Anything.
Simon and Simon?
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
his
Jake and the
daughter-
Fat Man.
Meanwhile, his daughter is still driving a damn cab, and he hasn't offered her that opportunity.
Well, he does no, because
No, it's Archimedes and daughter.
yeah, she paints and daughter on it, on the door.
And
Yeah.
then,
Okay.
and
I missed so
Tarzan
much
and
of this
Fire,
movie
Yeah.
because it was so freaking useless. Hindsight.
It was only an hour and a half. It didn't even require.
I don't know. I
attention.
actually kind of enjoyed the movie.
I loved it.
I hate to say
Jane
it, but
can't scale walls the same way that Tarzan can.
No.
So maybe that's why she doesn't really wind up at the detective agency. Who knows?
well, but they set it up so that you can already see the entire series in your head. You know every episode.
Yes.
I mean, literally, it's like, okay, yeah, I know what that is.
It's going to be Halloween episodes.
Yep.
Science
The
fiction
Christmas
episodes,
episode. Oh, a
Romeo
ghost
and
episode.
Juliet, a Romeo and
Oh,
Juliet
yeah.
episode. There's got to be a Romeo
Yeah.
and Juliet.
this ending, Jason, reminded me of you with all the candles in the fireplace with the what were the pieces that you had Adam and me listening to where the guy was reading the stories like the cat wife or something?
Oh, Arch Oboler's Lights Out, everybody. Yeah.
I was just like,
Well,
Yeah, and then he drinks out of her real shoe, which is a little was weird.
that might have been ad-libbed.
Yeah, it could have been.
That might have-
It could have been.
oh, those 80s turtlenecks.
Man,
Do y'all remember that?
The director going, what is Vincent doing? What is he doing? Just roll it. Just roll it.
Michael-Vincent.
Just keep rolling.
I'm putting some Jan Michael-Vincent
it's two
stank on
brothers.
this thing.
Oh, God. It's two brothers.
Who very, oh God, it must smell. But it's glass.
No,
Yeah.
and that reminds me of
You know.
what's her face, that lady with the annoying voice.
Fran Drescher.
Yes.
Oh, I got it one.
Wait. Beautician in the Beast, because she was like, "Lady, I used to do pedicures on women who wear plastic shoes in summer," and that's what this made me think of.
But doesn't she look a little like Pam Dauber?
A little.
A little bit.
Who's Pam Dauber?
Never mind.
It was the legit question.
Mork and Mindy. She was
Oh,
Mindy.
okay. I don't know.
Pam
her. I don't know
Dauber.
her by name.
Pam Dauber.
Sorry.
Whatever happened to Pam Dauber?
Nothing.
She got married and had children and
Okay.
lived out. She didn't have to come back like Tony Curtis to try to earn enough money to pay
Yeah.
for food.
Oh, God.
She married
Oh
well.
man.
She got
You know.
stamps.
Oh, it's so sad. But
So yeah.
so the movie ends on a very much a
A high note.
it's a high note. It's, hey, we're gonna go solve crimes together, and we're gonna have this colorful Tony Curtis, who probably would have been recast if it went to
They
series.
kept it so
Let's
wide
be
open.
honest.
Yeah.
There's no way it was gonna be Tony Curtis. I mean, it might have been. I don't know. I doubt it.
God, Jan Michael-Vincent.
But
With
instead,
those glasses, my God.
yeah. But
I wonder if
instead,
those
we ended
glasses
up
would
with.
fit beneath a scuba mask
They
at
might.
the Georgia
They might.
I bet you they would.
But instead, we ended up with Beauty and the Beast starring Sarah Connor. So that's
Oh, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
where we're. But we should say that Joe Lara, he tried out or he auditioned for an actual TV series about Tarzan that he failed. But he didn't get that. But then he did get to play Tarzan in a
The
series.
Adventures continue or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
Tarzan and the
22
Adventures.
episodes over 4 years. 4, 8, 12, 5, 10, 15. That's 5 a year. That's
Hey.
one every 2 months. Come on.
That'd be good. Maybe
Pays
good.
the bills.
Poor,
Might have been how he met his wife.
poor Jane. She gets trapped
Yeah.
at the end thinking that she's like, what is she on a date with Jan Michael-Vincent? Like,
I don't
Like I
know.
said, the ending of this, I lost track. But
Who the hell are you?
Tarzan's-
I'm Batman.
yeah, Joe Lara's there. Or
Where's
Laura.
the dude? The dude is here. Oh my God. That's an actual line.
And Jan Michael-Vincent does say if you want to catch an animal, you got to bait it with like the right trap or something like that.
But even he has when they put him in the cruiser, he's like, that was the best hunt I've
Yeah.
ever had.
Yeah.
So it's a happy ending
And that's
for
true
everyone.
because that's right. Jan Michael-Vincent doesn't die in the movie, so he can come back in a future episode.
Yes.
Meanwhile, this guy is hanging from. His arms are just sort of captured, and he's not hanging by his neck. He's not dying, but he's sitting there with his legs just kind of dangling.
And you notice how when she gets her hands cut over, she's tied up. She
With duct
stands
tape.
right up, and she still has the ropes around her.
Well, she learned that from Tarzan. You just
Yeah.
break it free, like whatever.
But who in Airwolf?
shimmy,
Alice
shimmy.
Cord. What was his character?
Archangel.
Archangel.
Yeah.
Jason,
So-
this is straight
yeah.
out.
So
of
he would be like Archangel.
Oh, yeah.
except the bad Archangel.
Archer had to have been referencing this exact scene when they were talking about bondage porn because
yeah.
they duct tape
Yeah.
Jane right underneath her breast. Hindsighters.
And
Apparently, that's a fetish.
you know,
that Darth was
what
never-
this series
I
could
didn't
have
know
used
that
though.
until now.
Well,
this-
Archer taught me that.
This was the opportunity to reunite Jan
Dobermans.
Michael-Vincent with Ernest Borgnine. They should have put Ernest Borgnine in as Archimedes.
Yes.
Straight to series, 6 seasons in a movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like this movie. I really,
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
Joe.
did. Yeah,
It's so 80s. So, like, Dobermans, what are the scariest dogs, gentlemen? Dobermans were like
Pit
the
bulls
scary
to me.
dogs.
Pit bulls.
Nowadays, I guess pit bulls. But
Nowadays.
They're the
No,
only
but
dogs
people
that
look
have actually attacked me.
Oh, okay,
So,
that makes
yeah.
sense. But like Millie, for instance, a German Shepherd, people look at her like she's a shark, and I'm like, she's not a Tyrannosaurus
No.
Rex. Like, she's fine. Like, she's a derp.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But the Dobermans were such the 80s dogs, and they were always in a pair.
Yeah, a pair of
Even in
Dobermans.
Oliver and
yeah, no,
Company.
you're absolutely correct. It was always a pair of Dobermans in every '80s movie, and then the Rottweiler also. But that wasn't your well dressed villain had Dobermans because they look all
Right.
they're very
God.
very sleek and
They do,
Yeah.
and they're German. They're
Yes.
very serious dogs. But
Yes, the bad
Michael-Vincent
guys.
does this douchebag move where he's like flaunting a banana in front of the chimp. Like, do you want it? No.
teasing the chimp.
Yeah, he's being mean to. And I got teased when I worked at Starbucks because I was making a smoothie. It was a strawberry banana smoothie, and I was peeling the banana from the bottom. My boss looks at me, Mackenzie, and he was like, "Why are you peeling
That's
the
the
banana
way.
upside down?" I was like, "That's how chimps do it in the wild. You get more of the banana and you don't split it off."
Mind blown.
He was like, "Every day with you is like being with Professor Jade. Like, how do you know this random shit?" And I was like, "I don't know. You just peel the banana from the bottom."
Well,
I have one last
yeah.
connection here before we close out. Grace Jones had a song that was in here. It was a New York song. It was like
She about to
back
violate
up
that
to my
show.
bumper or something. It was a nice one, but she was very androgynous. She showed up late with Andy Warhol to Arnold Schwarzenegger's wedding, made a big scene, but she was very famous. But she also happened to be the downstairs neighbor of a friend of mine.
really?
Downstairs
Jones,
neighbor.
dancing in New York City. Yes, in fact, we were together.
You just say New York.
I had this job, New York. Thank you. And his one of his pipes broke, and it was flooding, and it was dripping down. And he gets a phone call from Grace Jones.
Grace Jones.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like Kyle, you got a problem
Kyle.
upstairs.
Kyle.
Hey,
And,
she
That's what
she slept
Jason's
with
gonna
James
name his
Bond.
next stuff.
oh yeah, she did. Roger Moore.
Roger
right?
Moore. Oh wow, there's a Tony Curtis connection. Tony Curtis and Roger Moore in The Persuaders.
See how we did that,
It is
hindsighters?
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That's how. Yeah.
But my friend is standing there. He goes, "I just spoke. You know who I just spoke to? Who? Grace Jones. Grace is his
Sure,
neighbor.
why not?
She was cool at their
Yeah, I would have been like, come on, Grace. Come on up here. We'll hang out.
Yeah.
Do a few lines. Whatever it is you do.
Let's
She
read.
did a lot of stuff.
Break
Let's
concrete with your head. I don't know what you're into. You look
Whatever
like
it
you
is,
might
I
do
don't
that.
care. Come over.
But let's close.
It's going to be kind of hard to do an Alf to Seinfeld here.
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie,
First
so I'm
time
a
for
straight
me.
five.
Yeah, first time for me also.
What?
In fact,
You wanted this
when
movie.
I did, because when I was at Strike Zone, he was talking about the movie, and in fact, when it was filmed, he asked if I had ever seen it. I said, "Well, I was underwater, which I was."
Good
in a
excuse.
submarine.
Good
There you go.
And
excuse.
then
6 months to
suddenly,
nowhere.
suddenly he and Frank Zagarino suddenly became very interested. A submarine guy playing a submarine guy was a real submarine guy, so that's how we became close friends.
Meta.
Yeah,
It was very meta.
and now I miss him.
So, so any last words for Mr. Lara?
Well, we miss you, Joe. You did a fantastic job here. You looked awesome.
Yeah,
You didn't age well.
a hunk of burning
Oh,
love
who?
I knew him
God.
10
Who
years
does?
later,
Yeah.
and he looked much older, but you know what?
happens to
Lived
us all.
hard and lived well.
And you're right. He did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did for what he had to work with. I probably would have watched this if it had been a show.
Yeah.
I probably would have watched.
I mean, if you watched Conan the Barbarian and you watched Hercules, this is in the same
Tales of
sort
the
of
Gold
style.
Monkey.
Yeah. I can tell you my prediction for the show is they would have dialed back the Tarzan stuff and he would have done exactly one Tarzan thing in every episode. But other than that, it would have just been, a kooky little, he's a weird guy detective show.
Right.
They tried that with Alexander Skarsgård. He also played Tarzan and like.
Yeah,
it wasn't-
that was the.
It was horrible. It had Samuel L.
Yeah,
Jackson in
yeah.
it. I watched it because Alexander Skarsgård was in it.
There was
That's
somebody
it.
else in that too that was
Samuel L.
surprising.
Jackson.
No, besides him, there were multiple
his wife was
surprising
Robbie,
people. Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, where it's like
that hot girl from
yeah.
the superhero universe, but she's Australian, and they even made fun of it because they were on some radio show where she was like, "Oh yeah, there's this one thing where Alexander and I are supposed to make love, and he's making all these animal noises. Like he's a jaguar and then he's like a peacock, and it's so random.
A Harvey Weinstein production.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, I was like,
yes.
yeah, so
And on,
finish that up.
on that, because we can't really do after Seinfeld.
We
So,
can't.
it's a straight 5, which is fine. We'll watch it again in 10 years.
Yeah.
And we'll
And
see.
see if
and-
it's-
yeah,
Stand
yeah.
the test of
Yeah.
time.
I bet in the nursing home, I'll
there's
watch it
Mel's
and like it
helicopter.
even more. But with that, I think we can wrap it up and say thank you very much to everybody for joining us today, for your drive time, your listening time, your swinging from a vine while making a Johnny Weissmuller scream time. Yes.
Time.
This has been Hindsight, and good night.